Hã?
Vai tomar um banho. Ai, ai. E aí, galerinha do mal. Começando mais uma gameplay aqui. Vamos fazer a cast. A cast lendária aí. Vamos dar início a Clash aí. Pra terminar essa cast lendária. Simbora. Ah, ontem eu vasculhei geral aí. Fiz umas coisas aí. Agora a minha árvore tá nível 5. É, a minha estátua nível 3 eu acho. Ou nível 2 alguma coisa assim. Ah, ou nível 2 eu acho que é nível 2. Ou nível
Wherever in
3
this world
agora
I
não
roam,
sei.
I carry memories of
Ah,
my home. This
vamos
place.
fazer a cache lendária.
It is the last
Beleza.
link I have to the land of my birth.
Simbora, simbora, simbora. Beleza. Hum?
Follow the wind.
Não, não, não. Volta, volta. Esperar recuperar. Caraca, escureceu. Com um breu. Então essa parte aqui é bem sombria. Ah, que lugar aqui eu tava querendo ir, velho. Eu bem caçando esse tempo todo aqui. Deixa eu ver se eu tenho nível pra passar naquele lugar agora. Não cai na bola, não cai na bola. Ai! Não! Ai, não tem nível. Porcaria.
Time to go.
Tem Mari. Ah, tem que colocar a bolinha? Não, tem que colocar a bolinha, velho. Nossa, mentira. A bolinha. Essa aqui é a Temari? Não acredito que é. O que tem que fazer? Então fala isso, tempo restante. Eu jogo com um garoto. Hã? Fale com um garoto. Mais uma vez. Cadê os garotos então? Ah, tem que encontrar Temari. Beleza. Eu acho que tem. Tem 1 metro, será? Acho que eu não vi 1 metro, velho. Mais uma vez. Acho que tem 1 metros. Distância do alvo. Ah, aqui. Não, não. 20, 19. Achei no limite. No limite. Caraca. Essa estava difícil. Perigoso, irmão. Deixa Temari. Beleza. Adeus, irmão. Então tem que jogar com os irmãos dele. Entendi. São mais de um então. Cash que eu vou fazer dele. Eu acho que esse cash tá morrendo de manhã. Barulho de cash sem parar aqui. Pega essa cash aqui. Olá, viajante, o restaurante Inazuma, dentro de novamente. As circunstâncias atuais convidam o falaceiro pra cá. Gostaria de me ajudar? Deixa. Quando você. Estamos contando com você, viajante. Beleza. Acho que isso aqui veio do livro, né? Deixa eu ver. Vou comprar os livros dele tudo aqui. fazer a quest lendária, que é o mais importante, né?
According to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Wait! We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple
Então,
of
eu
wandering
gostaria de falar
outlanders
sobre
that
se
snuck into the
infiltrando
nation,
na nação,
judging by your attire.
suas roupas, sobre a sua origem.
Are our clothes really
Se a
so...
nossa roupa é
Oh,
tão...
what Paimon means to say is...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. In which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House.
Well, that sounds more like it.
Beleza.
Well, now that we're... Paimon doesn't seem any...
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax. No need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Ah, now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem less out of the ordinary.
All right. I've had my fun.
Hey, you're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister.
Não, esse é o Shield 2.0, velho. Não é possível.
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so I came up with this little fun greeting. But in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Miss Kamisato, and whether you had the courage to face the lightning alongside.
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're...
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies.
Então, qual é o resultado das provas? O que você quer com companheiros para enfrentar raios juntos?
Let me just say this. You've often found yourself
Desde o
skirting the
princípio
rules from
você
the very
sempre
beginning,
que
haven't
estava
you?
acima das regras, não é?
Naturally, this is due to your
Porque
unwavering and
você é
resolute
uma
determination.
pessoa muito persistente e nunca se rende.
A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same.
Não
But
tinha um
when the
companheiro
lightning
como
struck,
você. Só depois do impacto do raio. Se você refere a um amigo, você se refere a um amigo que morreu no duelo imperial?
ah, so you've heard of his story.
Afinal, você também ouviu, mas
His light still burns all the more
os
brightly.
raios estão longe de ser fracos. Estamos prontos em nos encontrar podemos ir agora.
Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the Yashiro Commission is located. But before that, there is one other place I was hoping you both would...
Oh? Where?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on Narukami Island.
A estátua? Beleza. Ei, véizinho. Tudo bem? Beleza.
Delicious tea.
Esse aqui é o cara que o Felipe falou. Vou dar início aqui. Hum. Beleza, 130 treinamentos. Vou trocar o personagem. Eu vou tirar qual o personagem principal aqui. Só que tem elétrico.
Just what will we come across?
Ah, aqui é a panelinha. Hã? Eu não consigo vender nada pra ele ainda. Tá amanhecendo, vai perder a velocidade. Corre, minha deusa!
This area sure feels gloomy.
Tipo, a gente tá sentindo
People probably don't come
uma
here
aura
often,
muito
do they?
assustadora. Um lugar desse. Ai, ai, ai.
Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there things embedded?
Visions.
Visões.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt degree are put into the statue?
Caraca, as visões tá ali, velho.
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt decree.
Começar com isso aqui?
Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and Lea is the city of contracts. As for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most powerful ruler and its deity. The Eternity in question is her endless and unchanging will to rule over Inazuma. As such, she relies on the Tri-Commission to regulate
Respect
the
me
nation.
now,
The
viu?
Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis. allowing the stream of time to flow from one end.
Seems like every god has their own will.
Of course, this is my own limited
Tudo
understanding.
isso é
As for the
a
reason behind the
intenção
recent
de
Vision Hunt
reclamar
decree,
daquela atacação que acontece.
perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change,
Acho
and
que
that her
a visão
eternity doesn't allow for
confere
such
poder
instability to
de
exist.
rebelião. Com ela, valoriza a eternidade em si, em cima de tudo. A lógica não permite resistir a
Whatever the
rebelião.
case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, embedding each one in this. And this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, what?
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so and yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt decree is something that simply should not exist. And Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then what?
aspirations? That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision
Eu
represents
vejo
their
um
ambition.
representante forte de desejo. Nossa,
So if what you
tudo.
just said is true,
Se tudo você acabar de dizer a
then the
verdade,
ambitions of these
o
people are
desejo
stronger
foi
than I imagined.
bem mais forte que então
All right,
desejo.
time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
Finally!
Finalmente. Pra lá. Reconheceu o teleporte, né? Tá aqui embaixo? Meu Deus do céu, eu tô cego. Beleza. Hoje eu vou fazer só cast. Eu vou terminar essa cast aqui, a principal, pra finalizar a história logo aqui.
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live,
Pelo
huh?
menos você acha que conhece
I
essa
kinda expected
novidade.
it to be snazzier.
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence.
Is this the Shirasaga? Oh, behind the screen?
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro Commission, this is how Miss Kamisato is accustomed to receiving guests. Consider it a time-honored tradition within the Yashiro Commission. Forgive me if this is an unwelcome surprise.
Makes sense.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion, especially following such a long and wearisome journey over the sea. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation, and Toma assures me that you do indeed possess the power to change the tide of the times. At present in Inazuma, in the name of the Vision Hunt Decree, The people's aspirations are being sent. Though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, it is the people with whom we share close bonds. Given the contact we are a commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their people. Thus, we cannot remain indifferent to this situation. Traveler, lend us your power, and we can...
Me dê o seu poder e certamente irei. Eu estou aqui para... Eu peço desculpa, mas não estou aqui para...
Oh.
See, milady, it's just like I said. This will take us nowhere.
No, please, wait. Please, don't go. I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun on one condition. You must fulfill 3 small wishes on my behalf.
What are your wishes?
They pertain to 3 whose visions were taken from them. Perhaps once you've met them, you will understand.
A warrior who guards a village, a former samurai who helped carry out the vision hunt decree.
Correct. Please do all you can to help them. I will await your return here. Then you have my...
I'm sure you'll do great.
Ah, vou dar uma olhadinha aqui, né? Ah, cadê ela? Mentira, ela fugiu. Ela mentiu pra mim. Cadê os livros? Cadê o livro? Quero roubar livro. Aqui tem livro. Ah, aqui. Achei livro. Mais livro? Quartinho da Yaka. O que vem aqui? Ah, essas 2 bolinhas. Ganhei o que de conquista aqui? Ganhei a... Entre em contato com a estátua dos deuses. Unidade. A princesa por trás das cortinas. Beleza. 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 Você tem como viajar daqui de boa? Deixa eu ver. Tem. É de bunda. Ei, o que tá fazendo aí?
Fazer café, homem.
Fazendo café agora?
Para tu, ou você faz?
Acho que à tarde eu vou comer queijo. Queijo.
Não, queijo café.
Em vez de comer comida. Eu vou comer o ovo mexido.
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden, after all these years?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. We've had no time to prepare. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play. Please.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about. Let's go over and...
Vamos dar uma olhada. Agora não tem um converseiro geral.
Ah, you must also be here to try and convince Tejima to stay. Tejima has protected this place ever since he arrived here 30 years ago, keeping out the treasure hoarders, fending off any monsters that draw near, resolving quarrels between the villagers. He has put an enormous amount of work into looking after this, but now all of a sudden.
Você já viu essa
He
novela?
says he plans to leave
Oh.
us. We can't help but wonder.
Eu acho que eu
Was
confundi.
it something we did?
Eu lembro.
Eu não vi essa parte.
E aí, bandido? Tô de bom, bandido? Tô na Inazuma, velho.
Apologize if that's
Tô
the case.
habilidade high, ó.
All we want is for him to stay.
Tô usando habilidade high já. Suspiro. O que tá acontecendo? A minha opinião é isso, tá reclamando do decreto da caça à
It's
visão.
clear that Tejima had done nothing wrong, and still
A
they
sua visão
confiscated his
acabou
vision.
sendo
After that,
confiscada.
he became a completely
Ele
different
não
person.
pode parecer com outra pessoa.
I can't claim to fully understand it, but I could tell that he'd lost something very important to him. He went off on a walk, alone, circled the village a few times. Truth be told, we aren't sure whether trying to keep him here is the right thing to do. But equally,
Ah, bugou o negócio de mensagem. Tá aparecendo mensagem sem parar aqui, velho.
Guy around here.
Ah, apareceu sua mensagem agora. Só porque eu excluí, saí do mapa de novo. É, porque eu falei com você. Espera chegar na Zoom primeiro. Na Zoom tá quase chegando, velho. Vocês já começou a jogar. Tem muita missão agora. Tem uma ave pra você upar. É igualzinho a ave do gelo lá, mas é melhor ainda que você não leva dano de gelo, né?
You must be Tejima.
Tá muito bom o jogo, velho, agora.
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave, but a question of what reason I would have to stay.
Você já viu alguém entendendo aqui? Todo mundo depende de você.
True, but that's not why I chose to stay here. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? And why have I never wanted to leave in all that time?
Não. Ei, bandido.
I don't have answers to those questions because I can't remember anymore.
Tem muita coisa, velho. Tem muita coisa. Agora eu vou baixar só no 2022.
Slice of my memories.
É, 2022 tem muita coisa liberando, né?
In the past,
Só que você perde as 600 gemas que dá no começo.
but whatever resolve I had then, it's gone
Entendeu?
now.
Você perde uns 3 tiros aí.
What's to stop me from moving around
Que você
instead?
pode dar lá,
The
cê-
emptiness inside
lá pra
me will
frente.
be there either way.
É, porque quando sempre atualiza, você ganha 600 gemas, entendeu? 600 gemas.
Okay.
Gemas essenciais. Aí quer que você compre os tiros, você para dar os tiros nos personagens.
You won't as if you can't remember anything. Oh, maybe if you just try a little harder to remember, then it'll all.
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought Tejima some fruit, I do believe I saw him writing in a diary.
I keep a diary? If you say so.
Oh, yes, yes, you do. And what's more, I remember you saying at the time that you wanted to make a note of a few interesting things. Things which would prove very important at...
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima from leaving, we just need to find his diary. It must be around here.
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary.
Tô fazendo cash novas. Não estou triste com esse jogo. Ué, por quê?
This looks like Tejima's diary. Let's see what we have today. The villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I met today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched. I went kite flying today. The
E o
street
Call of
broke, so I
Duty?
chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait, there's more.
Acho que à noite eu vou jogar Call of Duty aí. Se estiver jogando, nós jogamos se chamar eu lá pra nós jogar.
I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me is
Se eu
fading,
lembrar, né?
but it is still my most treasured possession.
Não, você vem aqui amanhã. Quando você chegar, você me lembra. Tá bom? Pode ser esperar eu excluir ele para sair coisas novas. É.
Now that's the kind of info we're looking for.
Tem muita coisa pra soltar, velho. Tem Suramérica. Ixi, nossa, velho. Bugou meu cérebro agora. Sumero. Tem Sumero pra soltar ainda. Né? Vai vir mexer um mapa lá de.
Que foi, Nasty?
De Liue.
This is the Omamori Tejima wrote about. Interesting. Looking at the but anyway, if he had this with him all the time.
Vem pra lá. Bem.
Here we are. This seems to be somewhere that Tejima visited a lot. The soil looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for 30 years. Let's dig it up and take a look.
Vai assim, baixa ele de novo, pega o recurso e paga de novo, até você voltar, né? Você já pegar umas gemas essenciais, até bom para você dar tiro, né? Se acabamos, você esperar as guerras, espera por mim a vida de e haverá um abrigo seguro para nós. Vila de canal. É aqui não, familiar, onde nós.
So the reason, but he's been here for 30 years.
Acho que hoje libera o código. É, sim, eu fiquei sabendo. Vai jogar ele? O meu PS4 não tem mais espaço, velho. Todo é isso.
Well, let's go give Tejima his stuff back and take it from there.
Tô zerando aquele jogo lá da ilha ainda. Acho que eu vou fazer foi pra mim. Eu vou começar isso aí não. Muita coisa. Um diário. Essa carta também deve ser meus. Embora não esteja lembrando ainda do conteúdo dessa carta. Eu realmente estava esperando alguém por mais de 30 anos. Durante o período eu notei. Eu acho que é engraçado.
And just look at all the things that did happen over. How could I have forgotten something so
Mas
important?
o que eu esqueci, coisa que importante como essa, após A minha
Now that
visão
I think
se
about
Acho que é
it,
porque você tá comendo
ofuscada
arroz.
e eu
my
sinto
vision was
sem
taken.
alma.
Love, regret, everything I felt for her, it's all disappeared.
Vou dar tiros no dano
A cara de bumbum.
desse jogo aí. Esse banner aqui é bom demais, velho. Você quer ver a Yaka?
Mas lá no trem.
O banner tá bom, velho. O banner dessa da Yaka é muito bom. Mas só que eu vou esperar a Bal, né? Pra chegar a Bal.
No,
A deus da Eletro.
not especially. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice, the things
A
we
minha aparência, sua
experienced
voz.
together.
Tudo
I barely recall
que
any
ela
of it.
passou comigo.
It's as if she'd never been in my life to
É
begin
como
with.
se
As if
ela nunca
all these
tivesse
years had been
aparecido na
nothing
minha
but a
vida.
hazy dream.
E tudo que aconteceu fosse um sonho.
I think
Eu esperava
maybe
que
not.
pela metade da minha
If
vida.
this is something I waited most of my life
Que
for,
diferença
I
faria
suppose
se
I
eu
should carry on
continuasse
waiting.
esperando?
Although, what if
Se
she
ela
were to turn
aparecer,
up
eu
eventually,
nem consigo
only to
chamá-la
find I didn't
de sonhar.
remember so
Será
much
que
as her
ela
name?
deixa
Wouldn't that be upsetting when I think about it like that?
só de
I do
pensar?
feel a slight tinge of
Me
sadness.
deixa
How curious.
que sonho.
Why am
Agora
I
que
thinking
eu
like this when I don't even remember who she is? It's just like that
ainda
feeling
não
of
fui
emptiness.
pensando
The
nisso.
feeling that something
Eu não
is
sei
missing.
onde estou sentindo vazio no meu coração. Parece que estou falando alguma coisa.
Thank you both for helping
De
me
qualquer
reconnect
forma,
with my
muito
reason for
obrigado por
staying
arranjar
here.
motivo para continuar a permanecer por
I
aqui.
shall remain
Eu
here
ficarei
and
esperando
keep
por ela.
waiting for her.
Tejima seems to be dealing okay, but still, it makes Paimon really
Eu também.
sad.
Nada é mais triste do que perder a razão da tristeza.
Seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying. If you lose your... That certainly explains the stick. At least we were able to help him. Well,
Vamos encontrar a próxima pessoa.
according to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou.
Esse banho aqui tá interessante, velho. Muito bom. Você quer dar uma olhadinha na Yaka? Ela é muito apelona, velho. Ai, ai, a coluna. Deixa eu colocar ela aqui. Testar personagem. Ela é muito apelona. Os ataques carregados dela, principalmente. Jogar ataque carregado com gelo na espada é um dano escroto.
Kamisato out. Sometsu. My power. Embrace the ice. Take flight.
O cara me acertou.
Estourou um negócio nele.
Hã?
Estourou um negócio nele.
Chorou, né? Ela mata. Que é uma beleza. Estourou ele mesmo, né?
É pequenininho. O time tá...
Hum.
Por isso que eu não vi.
Ah, com medo, ó medo.
É, fica desse jeito.
Mas é bom pra ter um produto nele. É, mata bicheiro tá aí, né?
Você deu pro seu pai, ué.
Dei pra ele, né? Ele falou que ia comprar um novo. A Yaka é muito boa. Assim, mas. E eu não vou dar. Eu dei uns par de 10? Dei. Mas. Mas não. Olha o personagem do Eletro, ó. Uma criança. Pega essa cash aqui.
Que isso?
Tomate. Nossa, velho, que pouco veste, hein? Beleza. Peguei uma missão aqui.
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. But why would they take action against one? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation. How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential.
You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Oh, huh? And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
What? We just happened to be passing by. We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man. But it's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The
O cara tá mais magro.
Must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt decree. Why would you be unworthy of your...
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders. which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by the... If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency provisions to be had, they would have found them.
Huh. He seems to be tough, but we better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to... We should be able to follow their tracks. They couldn't have gone too...
Não rastrear os ladrãozinhos. Deixa pra lá.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods.
You haven't seen... Today's just the beginning.
You demand, boss!
These seem like the treasure...
Another test subject. Fry!
Into the wind.
Quê?
Oh, there goes all the mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use someone like you. Kurosawa. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed?
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal?
You've got a
Huh?
What the?
There's nothing in here but IOUs!
Yeah, a lot of them too. And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store. A Miss... We better talk to this Miss Aoi. As for you guys...
Yes, of course. So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOU.
Shut it.
Os ladrãozinhos pedindo desculpa, beleza.
Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about?
Ai, deu cãibra.
Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it?
Whoa, let's not get ahead of our... How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy it?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price...
So that's how he was getting... But why did he have to...
Well, if you think about it, Kurosawa thought that, so he deemed it necessary.
Wow. And no one ever appreciates...
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstance.
If you ask, of course, I'm sure. As for why if you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
No.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't. I've asked him about its origin. In hindsight, why don't you ask him about... Oh, but before you go...
But...
Information is also... Don't worry. I won't charge much for information.
At least we now know where the emergency provision... Let's go talk to Kurosawa again.
Beijo.
Vou levar o celular, peraí. Tô indo.
You can find everything and anything in Tsukumomono groceries. You can find everything and anything in Tsukumomono groceries. You can find everything and anything in Tsukumomono groceries.
Voltei. Tava resolvendo uns problemas aqui com a mulher.
What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Did you manage to track down the treasure?
That just about sums it up.
Strange. I don't really have... Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? But I could not deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, it seems that my body was somehow reluctant to do so. And this sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was... What did he say? It would seem that I forgot many important... All I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade... And said to me...
Hey, if you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Virtue? And somehow those two words seem to explain taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. But what use of virtue and justice? The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to... And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally...
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, in any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Fortunately for us, you don't have... Let's go find the next poor soul.
Tá bem.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around the... Paimon heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds... This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him.
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately! Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domon, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own... But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over. And he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's being possessed by an evil spirit. So we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism. But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the... So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome.
So, losing your vision...
get to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue him, so the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
We won't let them get away with it. Come on, let's go after them. Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted! Let's go!
How did you... Are you sure you're Domon's disciples? You move even quicker than he does, unless... I guess it's been a few years.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like...
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day. Long before... I don't care to talk about that time anymore.
His senior? Wait, that means...
Anzai? Yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Make-Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward, but Domon was... Sensei scolded him and told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such... I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift... Only then did I... He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter...
Sure sounds like he meant business.
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Make-Yoshi Sui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations for me.
Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his mastery. So, when I heard rumors that I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably...
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess... Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back.
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible?
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yai has taken an interest in your sense.
Lady Yai? Is that the same Lady Yai that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yai is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed...
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yai?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yai does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken notice?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve...
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui Art, will do our best to help you.
Sure! After all, who knows? Maybe we'll...
Vai dar aberta, né? Beleza. Vai dar merda, eu sei que vai dar merda.
Do you think that's Lady Yai? No wonder Junyo is so excited. She has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably nothing. It's Not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident...
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
But... then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness. As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both?
Lady Yai, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest swordmaster in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself, as he battled his growing anxiety, much like a certain fatally flawed friend of...
Poor Sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault, Father. Sensei. Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Ansai. Why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come. I never should have...
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. Now I know that we can't place our... But that is no...
But what if one day...
Palavras motivadoras.
I put everything I had. If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the... I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know, I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei...
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, Goodness. Well,
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me. So I can't claim. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, you are not in the same position that I was. When I left,
I understand. I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Miyakyo Shisui-art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my... But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you. This is my promise. And I humbly ask...
You can count on that. I'd be checking, but I am now used to the life of a... Well, don't just...
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciple...
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yai has some words for you.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment.
Ei, caiu.
I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Yai seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. I'm so curious what she really meant by all that. We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
Vou checar as caminhas lá agora. Na Kamisato.
Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Ayaka!
Huh?
Ayaka. Ayaka Pri.
Traveler, Paimon. It is a pleasure to finally meet. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma all—
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but Paimon sure as heck did not sign up to be a servant.
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
the open compared to how you are behind the screen. Alright, we can be friends.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen? Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descent. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the... But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be... You will? Really? Naturally.
Alright, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. I'd place my... Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we could move to the Komore Tea House? We ought not to involve other members of the yacht.
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yasho Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build. Such privileges exist due to the Yasho Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets...
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yasho Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me? The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt Decree...
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watat...
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya. Historically, but I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement. Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenchukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryou Commission and the Kanjo Commission. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt Decree. The almighty Shogun.
Toda
I've seen
poderosa,
her
gente.
on but only a few occasions.
Eu
Most of
vi
them formal
apenas alguns
ceremonies.
senhores e maiores delas. Senão,
She inspires awe,
ela
commands respect,
inspira
and
admiração
exudes a sense of absolute
de
authority.
respeito e
But as I
fala
recall,
senso de
there was
autoridade
something else about her that struck me
absoluta,
even more
mas
deeply.
é bem. Me lembro que havia algo mais nela do que tocou ainda mais
It
profundamente.
was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on her single goal of implementing eternity, acting accordingly.
Não tem mais pra mim.
Paimon has a question though.
Oh? What would you like to know?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunter?
Você já tem um plano para obter outra
To
classe?
be honest, we do not.
Não tem.
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them as a contingency measure.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there.
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryou Commission.
Darn! So they found out about it?
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply abandon Master Masakatsu. Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission, breaking him out of prison would risk dragging down the reputation of the entire Kamisato clan should we be caught. That would only serve to cast suspicion on any future activity we might seek to attempt. By no means do we intend to place the burden of such a task on your shoulders. When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run...
Dá um tiro aqui na frente da Yaka aqui. Vai que você tem. What? What? Bugado. Dá um tirinho na frente dela. Ah. Esquece. Tem sorte não, viu, mulher? Não tem sorte não. Cabeça missão lendária, né? Dá mais um tiro, hein? Tá louco, demora de aparecer. Último tirinho, gente. Vai tomando banho. Então, galera, esse é o vídeo de hoje. Terminei a cache aqui por aqui. E vou dar início à cache do fogo, né? A minha do fogo lá. Aí Ielmia, acho que é Ielmia que fala. Então, valeu, falou, tchau, galera. Fui, é nóis. Se inscreva no canal, galera. Beleza? Fui.